Howdy folks, how are you this morning? Sunday morning, about 5 o'clock in the morning, getting ready to go do a church service, and woke up to an Instagram message or comment that I got. Kaiser Bread was the guy that commented, said he'd like to see some more videos of me driving the truck, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like what Steve from SFC Speed Shop does, loading, unloading, this and that. And I just kind of replied to him and said, look, I basically just drop and hook, and it's kind of boring stuff. So that's why I don't do a lot of that kind of thing. And it would be repeat stuff because I just go to the same places and stuff. But I'm going to take you on a trip today, basically show you what I do on a Sunday, what I call church. Everybody knows that. That's been following for a while. So, you know, I've got 4 somewhat easy loads to do, and I really can't. I would have started earlier, but didn't get the loads that would have taken a little bit longer because the dispatcher usually doesn't get in until about 9 a.m. And I didn't want to get stuck sitting somewhere and wait. And that's kind of why I don't do the live unload stuff, because I don't get paid to sit and wait. And it's really not in the, you know, cards for me to sit around and wait because I don't like to. I'd rather just go do what I have to do, you know, minimize my time in the truck. That way it maximizes the funds that I make while I'm working the truck, and I'm just not sitting there idling it and stuff and burning fuel. So that's what we're gonna do today. Getting ready to go out and fire it up. So we'll go out and fire this thing up real quick. That way I can get moving and get down the road, because I gotta run and grab some fuel before we start. And then we'll get some loads going here. I'll peep you in at the stops and stuff like that where I go. It's dark out, so you probably can't see much. But let's get up in here. Get this thing going. A little bit foggy because, well, it's a little bit cold out. Where is the key? Come on, baby. What is your problem? Oh yeah, she's cold. Did not want to start. I think it's like 57 degrees. No reason for me to have to plug this thing in yet, but who knows? There we go. Get some more lights going on in here. Oh, got some crap back here. Long sleeve shirt I'm probably going to throw on because I said it is cooler. Let's get this thing on real quick. No music in the videos because we don't want any problems. Oh, while this thing builds air, I gotta get out and close up the air nozzle, because I always open that and release all the air. That way no moisture builds up in the tanks. You know that if you're a trucker. You hear that thing leaking out? Alright, well, I'll let that build air. I'm going to close these off, turn these lights off, close this up, go in and grab my stuff, kiss the wife goodbye, and we'll get moving down the road. That way we can get this day started, make some money. So until then, you know what we say, we will see ya. Well, just popped in the old fuel station here, and we're full. Oh, the RPM actually working today. That's nice. But let's get out here real quick, because I noticed something when I was driving down the road, taking off here. Full baby tanks, I love it. We got a little prediddle situation going on here with the dims. Had the brights on when I first took off, so that's what I seen. Looked in here, check it out what we got over here, and the whole thing snapped off. So this is going to need replaced, but let's kick the brights on real quick and see what's going on there. It's probably how we're going to be running today. And well, since this thing is not, they're not too bright, well, it works with the brights, just not the dim. So that's probably how we're going to run today. because, well, like I said, they're not too bright. And everybody with LEDs, I never even get brighted with this. People tell me flash and turn them down because, like I said, they're not that bright. So windows all clean. Need to go in and grab my receipt real quick so I can boogie down the road, get this thing started. But yeah, I'm gonna need to change that out, but like I said, I'll run with that today. And I'm only gonna be running in the dark for a few hours anyway, so it's really not gonna matter. So at least I won't get stopped, but nobody's out anyway, so I'll be back. All right, folks, just hooked up here. Slid the tandems real fast, checked everything over, but let's do a walk around real quick because I didn't check everything. I've got my airlines all hooked up here. I'm sure these are on here, that way if we get pulled over, we don't have anything to worry about here. That pin's in there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but always something you want to check right there. We're locked in. Sometimes you hit these things, they might be low or something, and you know, you just have issues. You think you're locked in, but you're not locked in, and well, we don't want to be the guy that drops our container because this one isn't too light since it's going to Florida. But if I was getting a normal one that was going to Rancho, California, Fort Worth, Texas, it'd probably be about 42 plus in the box, and you don't want to drop one of those. I can tell you that much right now. I gotta click the tandems when I get back in there, but basically all I do for the ramp that I go to, everything's an automated system, and I have an app on my phone. You can see that Ship CSX right there. I'm going to log into real quick, and I'll be able to do a few things here with the steps. I know you probably can't see that, I'm sorry. So I'll leave it right there. Accept that usage policy. Go to terminal, my company that I'm leased to. Okay, now we're going to create new. So basically all we're going to do is get a barcode once we put all this information in for this stuff, the chassis and the container. That way we can just go up there and scan everything, and we don't have to worry about entering stuff when we get up there. Oops, wrong thing. And I know a lot of you guys have seen this, or I've talked about this before, but for somebody new who doesn't know how a rail yard works, at least this one that I go to, that's why I'm showing you. Sorry if it's not very interesting because it's not driving or anything, but let's see what the seal number is real quick here. 8868. Okay. So that's basically what you've got to do. I got to create new for a container. I've got to get an empty booking so I can get an empty container once I get over there to drop this, because it's so early in the morning. I'll just be able to basically drop this thing and not have to worry about messing with any cranes. So that's always nice, starting out early in the morning. And booking limit reached. 176. Put the wrong number in. I'm pretty much the only guy that works on Sunday, except there's another guy out here, Steve. He started running on Sundays here lately. So basically that's what we're gonna, that's our barcode right there. Sorry if you can't see that because it's too bright, but yeah, I'm just gonna be able to scan this thing, and once we get over there I'll show you. But like I was saying, I'm pretty much the only guy that works on Sundays. Besides, he just started running Sundays here a couple weeks ago. I seen him and I talked to him the day I had the clutch issue. He's like, you know, it's real easy. And I told him, I said, dude, that's why I run on Sundays, because it's super easy. Nobody's usually out, so you don't have to worry about anybody else. You start early enough, you get your stuff done, you know, you could have a decent Sunday by the time you get back. So let's get this thing locked in and we can get moving. Well, there we go. We are locked in, so let's roll up here. He's rolling out now. You can see him. But sun's coming out already, so that's good. I'll be able to put my contacts on here. Don't have to worry about the old creep glasses. RPM gauge already quit working. Thing is, got a mind of its own. Just to float through the gears here real quick, a couple of them, because we don't need to get too crazy since we're in a parking lot. You know, just cruising around, creeping while you're still sleeping, because that's what we like to do. It's how you make the quick, easy money. And he ain't gonna be a problem dealing with him over there, because like I said, there's only 2 of us out running, and I just figured it out on my way over here from the fuel stop. This year I've only not worked 6 Sundays. So since the beginning of the year, I've worked every Sunday except for 6. And I guarantee I'm the only person that's worked that many Sundays. Because, well, everybody else takes it off. So that's why I call Sunday me working church. No, I don't attend church. This is my church service. This is my sanctuary, this truck. My happy place. So that's, you know, because I work on Sundays, that's why I call it church. For anybody who would think, oh, he goes to church, he takes his truck to church. No, this is my church. So hopefully I don't offend anybody by saying that, but it's just how I live my life and what I do. Make the money I can on Sunday because it's the first day of the paycheck week. So I get a good start. That way if something happens during the week and I can't run or the loads don't get loaded, I don't have to worry about that. So, all right, well, I'm gonna get off here and run in and grab my paperwork from Lynn, and then I'll bring you back when we're taking off out of here so you can get your little POV action, and then I'll probably cut you out. So until then, you know what we say. All right, folks, just came back from getting my paperwork, and this bad boy's a whopping 25,000. So that's good stuff right there. We're pulling a nice light one, which we'll probably be doing all day, except I don't know how heavy the ones will be once I get over to Findlay. So I'm gonna go get me on driving, because the company I'm leased to give me this tablet since I'm in this older truck. They can connect to this via Wi-Fi and the old interwebs, and I don't have to worry about writing on paper. Because, you know, I could care less if I had to, but it wouldn't be a big deal. But it's nice being able to be digital and just have this. So let's go into driving, put in our location, and we are ready to roll. So we can get her done. Here. A little bounce to the ounce, folks. Floating all the way through. There's no double clutch going on. The only time I'm using that clutch is when I'm starting and stopping, and ooh, do we got a sunrise coming on. Look at that over there, if you can see that beauty. Pink, blue. Should probably stop and take a picture. I usually do, but not sure I will today, because, well, we got things to do. And we're not running behind, but for Sunday or a Saturday, I do start super early. I was up at 2 o'clock this morning, because I could have started, you know, I could have got over here at 4, the ramp opens at 5, so I can get into the ramp at 5 and get my stuff started and taken care of. Sorry if you're a little wobbly, you're hooked onto the lunchbox right now, and it's just a little wobbly. So you'll have that until I figure out some way to weigh it down a little bit. Thumping around and stuff. Fortunately, that's how you're gonna be for a minute. So I get some control on you, because it's just where you're hooked up at. Sorry. I'll apologize now. It'll be the only time today. Take it personal. It's nothing really personal. Right in there. windows down yet because it's really not that warm out right now. It's probably, maybe, I think it was going to go down to like maybe 55 degrees before it started warming up. So, you know, it's what it is. Got the old long sleeve shirt on, still sporting shorts out though, so you know how it goes. Once it gets a little bit warmer, we'll get the windows open. But in the cab, it's really not too loud from the stacks or anything. You know, for being sitting on top of the motor, it's really not a loud truck for being a 1983 and 38 years old. I really don't mind it. I like the basic old equipment. A lot of people want newer stuff. That's why, you know, everybody wants to upgrade and stuff like that. I'd rather run the simple stuff. I don't need a lot of stuff. I'm fine with less is more, is in my book, way to go for me. So yeah, just a beautiful sunrise coming off the river over here. See if the trailer's got decent brakes here in a second. Grab this handbrake and see how it goes. Oh yeah, they're grabbing all right. That's good. Oh, get on that sunset or sunrise. All right, once we hit this and I run through the gears, when we get on 6, I'm gonna cut you out because I'm just basically running a 2-lane state route. Really not that interesting, and well, I don't want you to get bounced and slammed around too much more, so I'll, like I said, I'll bring you back once we get over to the ramp. That way I can kind of explain some things about the pins and whatnot, the whole process of, you know, chassis, to crane, to train, and then repeat. Which I probably won't have to mess with any of that today because there's only going to be a few of us in there, and a lot of times they have empties pre-mounted on the chassis that we can just go and drop ours and grab another one, so we don't have to worry about waiting around on the crane and sitting, which is nice. That's another reason why I like to do this first thing in the morning on the weekends, because nobody's in there. So you can get in and out. You don't have to wait. And that's why, you know, during the week a lot more guys run early like this, so there's more people over there getting those loaded containers and stuff. But at the end of the night, you know, second shift, everybody's at home that's, you know, running first shift, so I can go in there in the afternoon and basically do what I do on the weekends and just switch my schedule around and run in the afternoon. That's why I do it the way I do. It just makes sense for me, so. Folks, once I get over there, like I said, I'll bring you back, so hopefully you enjoy this so far. I like the views and everything. Get you what you need from the inside of a Cabover. So until then, you know what we say. Alright folks, we're just pulling in over here to the ramp. Sorry if you're a little crooked. I had you off charging for a minute, and you're going to get bounced around out here because it's super rough. But this is probably about the view you're going to get. So hopefully you enjoy it. Looks like there's 2 cranes running right now, so that'll be decent. But we're just going to come in here. We'll probably spend about 15 minutes in here and then go out. So that'll be fun, but I'll at least show you, you know, the whole pin setup and stuff like that. I know anybody that's pulled one of these has seen this and knows what's going on, but if somebody hasn't, like the guy asked, you know, he didn't know, so he was curious, so that's why I'm doing this video and showing you and giving you a little POV. And yes, like I said, sorry you're gonna get bounced around. It's just unfortunately what it is. I need to get a solid mount or something to put you on versus the lunchbox. I just haven't done anything, so sorry about that. So as we're here through this X gate. There's a computer system right here that'll scan this barcode and read it to where I'll know where I'm going. I'm dropping in 55, and then my next move is to go to 125 and pick up a trailer. So as we're going through and going by, I'll check out to see in 125 if the trailer's there, because if it's not, I'll call up to the office, talk to the gal who's working inside, and let her know so she can get me something else. Now, looks like we may got lucky, folks, to be able to shot her in one try. Not a big deal if I got to pull up and do what I got to do. Just like to get her in there straight so nobody gets upset. And try to leave plenty of room on both sides so the next guy that's got dropped next to this doesn't have any problems either. So I'm gonna get off here real quick and unhook this real quick. I'm gonna run down there and grab that, and then we'll go over to where you clean out now, get your eyes on those pins and stuff that I was talking about. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to put you through to something I did earlier this week with the garden, pulling some of the potatoes out of the towers and stuff and digging up the compost potatoes. So hopefully you enjoy that. So until I come back with some truck stuff, you know what we say. Howdy folks, how are you today? Out on the Cushman here right now. Probably going to do a garden update here in a little bit. But first, I got to pick up some sticks out in the yard. We had a hell of a storm come through yesterday and knock a bunch of stuff down. Obviously, as you can see here, let's get over here to this big guy. I can get this stuff picked up before I can move on to some other things, because well, I can't mow the lawn if I wanted to with all this crap out here. That's a big old hog that come down. Every time the wind blows, it seems like I'm picking up sticks. Well folks, 2 hours later, we're finally done picking up all the sticks here, so we're going to get into these towers real quick and see what we got. Probably won't have much, but something's better than nothing, so I guess we'll see. So after digging that one out, I basically just threw the stuff in here and broke that cage open once I got down certain layers. Threw it in there and cleaned it out. We got 21 potatoes off that one tower. Even though that didn't look very promising, that's how many we've got here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. No, I got some in the tire, and then I got some on the other side of Frank, over by the smokehouse, in the compost pile. So this is what we got from the towers here in the bowl. Got some gold ones and a bunch of little reds. So that's what we got. Not the best, but better than nothing. So I'm gonna pull the tire out here real quick and we'll see what we got in here. I know we got a few big ones, so check this out real quick. Well, that's what we got for the compost there. Not bad for just throwing some stuff in the ground. Well, that's what we got in the sink here. We'll have to clean these up, go through, see what's green, pull those out because those are ucky. And then, you know, we'll cut them up and do what we want to with them. Cook them on a fire and then save the rest for another day. Not bad, I guess, for what it is. Haven't got a final count, so if we do a final count once we throw the green ones out, we'll let you know what it is. So it's what it is for, you know, kind of a crappy wet year and starting in the late. Not as much as what I would have liked, but, you know, circumstances, you do what you got to do for building them in towers and stuff like that. And just throwing them in a compost, not too bad. I guess I'm not going to complain because it's free food, so you know what I'm talking about. All right, folks, we're hooked up to the trailer here. Let's get our eyes on these pins, what I was talking about. It's just lock in the front. They just slide right in, just like so. And then you throw a zip tie on there because, well, that's what the cops want to see. If you get pulled over and you don't have them, you could get yourself in some trouble. That's why we always do it. Everything's hooked up over there. There's a period inspection over there. You check, make sure that's good to go. Already checked all this stuff when I was over there. I need to jump up in here real quick, and there's a little bit of crap up in here, but I'll clean it when I get over to the place I'm going. And then you got to check these ones right here, which throw you a zip tie on, and these just get up there. These just twist, but that just locks right in there. Keep this thing on the chassis, and that way you're not losing it. check your lights, everything's good, license plates on there. So yeah, we're ready to roll out of here. I just got to get my situation going with my phone. That way I can have my scan code when I get up to the front. And we can be good. Nice sunny, bright out. That thing. Alright, you said to drop in 55. Pick up in 125. Do you need to change emission? No. So basically it's giving me the container number, which is the same, and then the chassis number, which is the same. Submit. So there I got the code to scan it. So let's get in here and go up there and do that. And we are out of here. These gloves off real quick. Hopefully you enjoyed that potato little video I got you on, because well, I shot that on how to build those towers. I threw those extra ones in that compost, and it only came up. It's not exactly, I wish we could have got more, but for what we got, I'm not mad about it. We never did a final count. Lit up the old fire pit. She just started cleaning them and throwing them in a thing to cook, and that's just what happened. So we never did a final count, but we got enough to get us by for a couple weeks if we want to eat on them. It's always fun to do different things like that, because it's our third year having a garden out there, and everything's trial and error with the weather, and the fact that we didn't get the stuff in the ground late kind of killed us. The first stuff we planted just died, so we had to replant some things. Those tomato plants, whether they're in the ground, because last year they were in the ground, they didn't do squat, so we put them in a bucket this year because that's what she wanted to do, and well, they didn't do squat again. So gonna have to figure out what's going on in that and do some different things probably. So we'll see, I guess. Steve's probably going over to the same place. We're getting ready to go over to Finley Campbell Soup here. Well, it's a distribution center basically. They don't make any product over here. They just, distribute what's shuttled from the main plant over to here, so they don't have too much going on at the main plant with shipping. That's probably where he's headed. So we'll probably see him again. Yeah, it's just a nice, easy, laid-back day on a Sunday morning. There's a few Schneider guys up in here right now, which usually there is. On Saturdays and Sundays, there's some JB guys that'll come in too, some JB Hunt guys, but nothing too crazy to where you got to sit around and wait, because during the week, there's times where you may have to sit there and wait for people to back into spots for 10 or 15 minutes. And, that's 10 or 15 minutes that you're losing there of working. Basically scan the barcode on a computer here, wait for everything to go through. There is a terminal in Jacksonville, Florida that controls all this, the containers coming in and out. They can do what they have to do up front if there's a problem to help you out. But there's somebody down there monitoring all the stuff when you come in. There's cameras and stuff. They see the license plates, the container numbers, the chassis numbers, all that good stuff. So they grant you access to come in and out. And sometimes you got to sit here for a while because they might get up and use the restroom or something might go on. But if there's an error, you can usually call up in the office and they'll take care of you pretty quick. So hopefully we're not sitting here forever. Well, folks, we finally got out of there, so let's hit the road now.
turns in about an hour, and they pay $95 plus fuel surcharge, and since it's only 12 miles one way, 24 miles pretty much total, that's not bad. You know, it's easy on the fuel surcharge, so I kind of can make up a little bit on that, do them in an hour. So I don't, you know, take that at an hourly rate, you're doing pretty good. But 7:30, by the time I get my second one back in, I'll be working on getting my third and final load from Finley, and I should be able to get a hold of the dispatcher right around 9. She's going to give me the same spiel she always does. She say, I just got in office, give me 5 minutes, and I'll say, that's fine. Stop at one of the truck stops, pull in, drag my feet or whatever, and see what other loads I can do, because since it's so early in the morning and it's Sunday, nobody's out, I'm going to maximize my time in the truck since I just fueled up. I'm going to do as much as possible today. And probably 8 to 10 hours. It just depends what all kind of loads I can get, how many I can get, and how quick I can do them. Like these, I can just bang out, no problems whatsoever. So it's not a big deal. It's, you know, when the traffic starts to get a little bit heavier and things like that, you may have to deal with that kind of stuff, but I usually don't have to deal with too much because I'm only going to be on the interstate for a few miles, which you're going to get to go with me today. So if I speed this up and throw some music in it, sorry. I know you want to just cruise down the road and enjoy the view, but I got to keep these videos to a minimum somehow. If not, you'd basically be seeing me where I stop and that's it, and that's all you get. Somebody asked me one time, I don't know who it was, said he liked my videos, but he wondered if I could keep them down to 15 minutes because some of them were just too long, and I thought to myself, no, sorry, you'll get what you get. Sometimes I make short ones, sometimes they're going to be longer. If you can't watch the whole 35-minute video, fast forward to it until you see some good stuff if you get bored. If not, just put that bad boy on play and do something else. That's what I do. Usually when I sit down and watch YouTube videos, I sit in a back room or I'm up in bed watching them, and I'll just let them play through because you never know what you're going to hear, what you're going to see, and you don't want to miss something. This place over here's got some nice looking rides. Was no KW or K100 that sat back here that I stopped and took a picture with one time, but I don't know what happened to it. Kind of disappeared, so I haven't seen that one for a while. There's a couple I'll see once in a while, but nothing major. Nothing to where I see them all the time. These guys, they see me all the time because I'm always out here on the weekends. Every weekend I'm out here doing the same thing. Always check the truck stops too when I go by, just see, you know, maybe I'll pop in and be able to meet somebody else that drives a cab over, do an interview or something, but you never know. Maybe I'm lazy, maybe I just don't care. I don't know. You be the judge of it. To be honest with you, I could care less. I know how fast I'm going, so it doesn't matter. Like I said before, it keeps me out of trouble with the cops. I'll let it putz along. It's not a big deal. I'm not trying to hold anybody up, and I'm not trying to, like, you know, race anybody either. So it's just one of those things. I don't necessarily baby the truck. I drive the truck like it's supposed to be drove, you know. I like to get it on the interstate once in a while and do some of the longer loads. That's all I do is interstate travel, besides when I get off and you know, go into Marion to get the load. It's maybe 10 miles off the interstate, and but it's 50 miles total round trip, or one way, so it's 100-mile round trip. But I like to be able to stretch the legs of the truck and run it wide open for, you know, multiple miles, because all I do is drop and hook, you know, state route stuff, 2-lane, and I mean, besides me getting on the 4-lane, you know, running from the house to Napoleon once in a while, that's it. So when I can get it out and stretched out, I'll run it, you know, some fuel pumping through it. Roll some coal. Not really, this truck don't roll much, but it's what it is. It's not turned up or anything from what I know when I bought it. I never did anything like that. Who knows what the original stuff was, if it's at that fuel pumps at the factory settings. And I don't plan on turning it up either. I don't need to, you know, what I have the truck and what it's set at now is plenty fine for me to do the job that I'm doing. I can make money with a 350 horsepower truck, you know, just like the guy with a 600 horsepower truck. Yeah, he can take off and go faster than me, but I'll still get there and I'll still do the job. It doesn't really matter to me that, you know, it's a low horsepower truck. Now, if I was running like a 290 Cummins or something like that, it might be a little bit rough, you know, but for what I use it for, this truck does fine. It does perfectly fine. I have no complaints about it. That's why I do what I do with it. Not sure I'd want to run it over the road or anything like that, any kind of setting, because, you know, it does slug going on small hills like this. Imagine how it'd be running up a mountain. Then I'd have to go somewhere and turn it up. But for what I use it for, it's perfectly fine. And yes, I know there's a lot of things you could do to this truck to boost the horsepower and stuff like that. But doesn't, you know, it's not in my realm of something I need to do to the truck. I'm fine with what it is. There's my boy Eric. May have to hit him up today if I see him over at the ramp and chat with him. I've been waiting to do an interview with him because he's a special case. But I just haven't had the right time to where I can do it, because we're 2 ships passing in the night basically when we see each other. So once I do finally get up with him, I'll bring him on. You'll be able to meet him, and we'll talk about his situation for being a truck driver. So that'll be cool. And I've talked about doing that with him for a few months now. I just haven't been able to catch him to where, you know, it's suitable for us to be able to do it. Well, that's for basically what it was for me being on the interstate. Run over here to these facilities and get these loads, which y'all have been over here plenty of times. So once I get over here, I'll probably cut you out and just handle my business, because, you know, Susan and Nicole's over here. I've been inside this place, I don't know how many times with you, at least 3. I got 3 probably videos with you being inside here, so maybe I'll do some snips while I'm in there. Different snips, I don't know. Could be something I do, could be something I don't do. But for me, pulling containers around, that's all I do. I don't sit and get loaded anywhere. I don't have time or the patience to wait on that kind of stuff. I know there's dropping hooks, so that's what I do. Ask the dispatchers for that stuff. That's what I like to do. They know that. I mean, most of the time, they don't want any drivers sitting anywhere. There are some cases where they do have some counts where there is live loads, unloads, preloads, whatever you want to call it. And there's sometimes where you just go grab an empty trailer, you drop it somewhere, and you bobtail out of there and go do the next thing. there's some cases where you just grab a chassis and you just move a chassis, and that's all you do is move a chassis. You get paid for. So never know what they're going to have, but they know what I like to do. I like to keep basically doing the same stuff. They know what time I want to work because I made it clear this is when I'll work, this is when I'm taking off, you know, whatever. But if they need me to work, they'll ask me, and I usually say yes or no. You know, it doesn't hurt to ask if you don't know, and well, if you can make some extra cheese and make some extra money on the side and just run an extra day, it's not a big deal, especially if you can pick your loads. They've been having so much because of it's pack season for the Campbells, so they're going to be pushing a ton of soup out. It's you know, they're harvesting crops and stuff like that, and everything's coming in. Everything's going to be going out for the season. You know, it's getting ready to come up. Everybody's going to need their chicken noodle soup and their tomato soup because they ain't going to be feeling well. So they're going to get the sniffles. So got to get that stuff made and sent out. So there's going to be a lot going on with those, which they've kept pretty steady. There's a few times during the summer where it's hit or miss, where there's no loads and they just don't load stuff because they don't have the product, or, you know, they just don't load because they got other loads that are more important that they do. So a lot of containers, they may not get loaded. Well, if anybody wants to know what it's like riding in a Cabover, there you go. We just went over a set of tracks. Every time you hit a healthy bump, it sounds like the thing's going to fall apart. So even if you got those nice air ride ones, you hit something like that, you're still going to get bumped and slammed around. It isn't too bad, but it's, you know, one of those things. You're sitting on the steer tires, so it just happens, man. Looks like there's some hot air balloons over there. It is, as I can see. Another reason why I don't do this all the time when I'm driving is because I don't think anybody really cares to hear me ramble about BS. And if you do, that's fine. You comment and let me know if you like to hear me rambling about BS, because maybe I'll start doing more of that. But I just don't want you guys to get too bored with the same thing over and over and over again. That's why I don't really do too much of this stuff, because it'd be repeat stuff. I just try to bring you to the issues that I have running an older truck like this. So on a day-to-day basis, I basically do the same thing. Well, I don't see Steve, so either he's already through the gate or he went back to Napoleon. I don't know. I'm sure I'll catch up with him later. Or he may be fast enough to where he's already in here, because I had to sit at that gate for like 5 minutes. So you never know. Well, let's see who's working on this side. Can't tell if it's the girls or the guys. Looks like the girls. I see their vehicles over there. Maybe I'm a creep, but I don't know. I just pay attention to things, and when you see certain vehicles on certain sides, you know whose it is, especially when you see them, you know, go and get in and out of them. So there you go, folks. Big old can of tomato soup there. And there's the girls. They're probably gonna be like, why didn't you post anything this week? Because well, we're all busy doing something. And there's Steve over there, and someone's going over to chat with him. So let's get your eyes on that real quick. Big boy. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I'll be back sometime, I'm sure, today. That's a long one, so I don't know. Maybe I won't be, maybe I will. So you know how it goes. Until then, you know what we say. We will see you.
Well, folks, we just got back home. Probably about 15 minutes ago. Went in and grabbed a beer because, well, I like beer. And deserve to have one today. Ran a total of 260 miles. I did 8 hours and 15 minutes. Flat rate, I made $5.90 with the loads that I did. I get a 10% premium, so whatever the fuel surcharge is with the flat rate and all that, they'll give me 10% of that. So I guess if we're saying we made probably, with the fuel surcharge, I did 4 Finleys. I think it's like $25 to $30. We'll just say 30. And then it's like $40 for Napoleon, give or take the fuel prices, which it's above 40 right now. So we probably made probably close to $700 on that. But then that fuel surcharge will get taken away. And then the premium will probably be about $70. So we probably made $660. So if you take that and divide it by 8.25 with your calculator, you're pushing close to $80 an hour. Not bad for a Sunday. I don't ever do the mileage. I just do my hourly rate. Usually I average about $50 an hour, so that's fine with me running my own truck. I'm happy with that because that's more than what I would make for a company that I'm working for, just doing what I'm doing local and just shuttling stuff back and forth because, like I said, I don't sit and get loaded anywhere. I don't have to get unloaded. I pick and choose the loads I want to run, which is decent. So that's always a good thing. When you're running your own truck and stuff like that, you don't have to worry about that. And that's basically what you do with containers. I know a lot of you guys have seen this, but for anybody that's new and subscribed and you haven't went back and seen any of that stuff, that's the gist of what I do with my truck, the K100 and the K100E when I run it, when it's running and fixed and, runnable. So that's what that is. I'm going to close out here with that, and hopefully you enjoyed today and what you've seen. I know some of the stuff is repeat for some of you guys, and that's why I tried not to do it all the time and just try to, do the breakdowns and the stuff like that and little things that I have to fix or stuff I deal with when I'm out on the road. And I did fill up this morning what you've seen, and I've got over a half a tank still. So tomorrow what I run, I won't have to worry about filling up. So that'll be more fuel surcharge on this tank. So that's always good. Try to keep that even at the end of the week if I can. Sometimes I can't, but if I got to pay a little bit out of my pocket, it's not a big deal to me. It's just one of those things that, sometimes there's expenses you got to pay for to be your own boss and be able to do your own thing, which it's not a big deal at all. So I don't complain about that stuff. So like I said, hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all the new subscribers, all the old subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, all you got to do is click on my name, hit the subscribe button. And if you really want to know when I'm posting stuff, click that bell. That way you'll know as soon as something comes up. So till the next time we get into something else, you know what we say. We will see ya.